We bought the Taproot filly out of Tisn't She Beautiful and will be trained by Todd Pletcher. Extremely athletic, a lot like him. We're excited to see him on the track.
Beautiful filly. She's out of a graded stakes mare that ran early as a 2-year-old, so I like that quite a bit out of her. This filly looks like she's going to be super early and precocious. Very good muscled filly, just a lot to like about her.
Taproot, standing at Gainesway.
Well, there's one big race on the road to the Kentucky Derby this week, and Marty McGee is there for it. It's the Tampa Bay Derby on Saturday at Tampa Bay Downs. 3 members of the Derby Watch Top 20 are in this race, including the 1-2 finishers from last month's Sam Davis, the big prep for the Tampa Bay Derby. I'm Jay Privman, but Marty McGee, you've got the floor. Give me your expectations for what's going to happen in the Tampa Bay Derby with the likes of Classic Causeway and Shipsational heading up the field.
Well, one thing, Jay, is they're calling for a 100% chance of rain here in Oldsmar, Florida on
100.
Saturday. 100. Now, what that means, is it going to rain for 20 minutes at 7 in the morning and then be nice the rest of the day? Who knows what 100% means? But nonetheless, we are somewhat prepared mentally and otherwise for a rainy day here on Saturday. Classic Causeway comes back off his dominating performance in the Sam F. Davis 4 weeks ago. That was kind of a tricky race, Jay, in that it looked like there was a whole lot of speed in there, but he caught such a great flyer. Like, he came out of the gate a length ahead. And so his jockey, Irad Ortiz Jr., had no choice but to just go on with it. The horse did rate kindly. And as I mentioned in one of our other videos, in the other video for today, reviewing the previous preps from last week, there's a lot of speed horses who have dominated these preps so far. So I think ideally his trainer, Brian Lynch, would like to see Classic Causeway rate a little bit off the lead. We haven't had the entries yet, but it will be a full field of 12 going here Saturday in the Tampa Bay Derby.
Yeah, as Marty mentioned, we're taping this midday on Wednesday. They've yet to draw the Tampa Bay Derby, so we don't know what post these horses are going to end up in and how that obviously potentially could impact the way the race is run. Marty, I thought Classic Causeway really won his best that day. The horses that were closest to him early finished well back. It was really a strong performance on his part. To me, one of the revelations out of the race was Shipsational, who previous 4 races had all been in New York bred company. This was his first. The Sam Davis was his first race outside of New York. It was his first race in open company. And even though he was no threat to Classic Causeway, I thought he ran well in his own right. What did you think of his race?
He ran very well, and time for a shameless plug here in that, Jay Privman, you have written a terrific story on his trainer, Eddie Barker, 76 years old, a lifelong New Yorker. I learned something today reading the story you wrote. It will be in the Friday editions of the Racing Form, and understandably, Eddie is quite excited about having a horse on the Derby Trail. He's taking it one day at a time, the way the Coach Hackman did in Hoosiers, and it'd be nice to see him run real well here again on Saturday and get a new face on the Derby Trail.
And the other horse in this race, Marty, who's on our Derby Watch Top 20, is Major General, and we haven't seen him for a long time. In fact, he won the very first point-scoring race towards the 2022 Derby. That's the Iroquois at Churchill Downs, and you were in attendance for that. You know, Todd Pletcher's got a pretty strong lineup of Derby contenders. It seems to me like this horse is maybe part of the B team. What are your expectations for him on Saturday?
Well, he was very gutsy in that victory in mid-September at Churchill Downs, but obviously that's been a long time ago. Hit a little stumbling block on the way to the next round of preps and on to the new year. But you know, again, it's Todd Pletcher. He's got a half dozen or so viable candidates for the Derby. I'm sure he's hopeful the horse is going to run well here. He certainly has laid a nice foundation in terms of his preps at Palm Beach Downs. And besides him, Jay, speaking of Uber barns like Pletcher, Chad Brown has a new entry in here, one we were not expecting, a horse named Money Supply, who was the first race winner here 4 weeks ago on the Sam Davis undercard, and going from 6 furlongs to this mile and a 16th. So yet another country herd from Chad Brown with a horse in the Tampa Bay Derby here on Saturday.
85 points overall in this race, 50 to the winner. And if a horse like Chad Brown's entry wins the race, he will be a new member of the Derby Watch Top 20 next week, owing to those 50 points. Well, that is our preview of the Tampa Bay Derby here at DRF.com. You'll also find a review of the 4 point scoring races from last weekend: the Gotham, the Fountain of Youth, the San Felipe, and the Battaglia Memorial. Also at DRF.com, of course, you'll find the Derby Watch Top 20 that Marty and I do. And as Marty alluded to, the feature that I did on Chip Stational's trainer, Eddie Barker. We'll be back next week with the recap of the Tampa Bay Derby. For Marty McGee, I'm Jay Privman. Thanks for watching.